Hello, this is Jaron from MarineAndReef.com, and today we're going to talk about fluorescent light fixtures. Now, fluorescent light fixtures used to be a mainstay in the aquarium hobby where you couldn't go into any fish store or pet store anywhere without seeing a standard fluorescent light hood like this one that we have here. However, recently LEDs have really taken over. We're not seeing as many of these fluorescent hoods. However, there's still over thousands or probably hundreds of thousands of aquariums all across the country. And many of you guys want to replace a light bulb in your fluorescent fixture rather than throw it out and get a new one. We're totally behind that. We often say we keep aquariums running longer. We don't always want to sell you something new. We want you to fix what you have so that it lasts longer. So today we're going to talk about how do these fluorescent light hoods work, and then we're going to address this ominous pile of bulbs here because we've been getting a lot of bulbs back, and we're going to go over how to know if a bulb is really bad or not, what's normal with a bulb, and how it works. So first off, if you have a fluorescent light hood like this, you're going to have a cord that plugs directly into the wall. It's going to go into the light hood. It goes into the back here. There's a switch that cuts the power on and off. And then behind this white reflector, there is a little box, and that is a starter or a ballast. Basically, you can think of that like the little brick that you need to charge your laptop or your phone. It's a box that makes sure the correct amount of power goes to the lamp that sits inside of the light fixture. And you got two ends to the lamps that power is sent to the lamp itself, and then the lamp lights up. So when your lamp dies, there's a couple things that could have gone wrong. The first is that the lamp could go bad, because lamps do go bad, they don't last forever, and this is when you would purchase your replacement lamp. The second thing that could go wrong is that that ballast or starter down underneath this reflector has gone bad. So what we're going to do right now is we're going to show you this big pile of lamps here that have been returned to us for various reasons. We're going to go over why people return them, and then show you guys whether they work or not and whether the lamps are good or bad. Before we put a lamp in, we have this one right here. We're going to let you know a little bit more, and that is if I get this lamp, I don't think you'll hear it, but you may hear some rattling. That's because the way that this lamp produces sunlight-like light or UV light that replicates the sun is that there's a little ball of heavy metals in there. It's a mercury along with some other stuff. And when this lamp has power to it, that little ball actually burns up, and that's what helps produce some of that UV light. So right now, since this is a new lamp, I can hear it rolling around. We get a lot of people who return these saying, it's rattling, there's something wrong, and my old one doesn't rattle. And that's simply because your old one had all of that burnt up. So it did rattle when you first got it, but now that it's old, it's not rattling anymore because that little ball of metal inside has burnt up. So in fact, if yours is new and it doesn't, that's a little weird. It could be it's stuck in the end, so it's not rattling, but you should hear that little bit of rattle because that's that little ball rolling around that's going to get vaporized when the lamp is connected. So we're going to go ahead and install this lamp. We're going to drop it into the fixture. Now, when you're picking out the correct lamp for your fixture, what we're going to recommend is you take the old one out, and the lamps should have a label on the end. This one reads Aqueon Full Spectrum 15 Watt T8 18 inch. Now, Aqueon's the brand, Full Spectrum is the color, 15 watt is how much power it uses, T8 is how big the diameter of the lamp is. Now, the T number is actually how many eighths of an inch the lamp is in diameter. So this T8 is about 1 inch in diameter. You'll see T12s that are bigger than an inch. You'll see T5s that are smaller than an inch. But if you get the incorrect T number or a thickness of the bulb, it's not going to work in your light. And then the 18 inch, if it's the incorrect length, it's also not going to fit in your fixture. So you want to make sure that you match that 15 watt T8 18 inch. You can switch colors and you can switch brands, but it needs to use the same power as the lamp you're replacing, be the same diameter as the lamp you're replacing, and be the same length as the lamp that you're replacing. All right, so we got that matched. We're going to go ahead and slide this guy in. And once you slide it in, we're going to give it a rotate. pop in. And we can see this one lit up just fine. So that's what should happen when you turn your light fixture on. Now let's go through this pile of returns here and show you guys why people sent these back. So we got our stack of return light bulbs here. This one simply says, item did not work with my fish light hood. Now, I don't know what kind of hood they had. I don't know if it was for an 18 watt T8 or 15 watt T8 18 inch. If it wasn't, then it for sure would not have worked. Let's go ahead and try it in the fixture and just see if it does work. Well, it sure seems to work. So again, it could be that this customer just purchased the wrong lamp and they needed a different size or wattage because they had a different kind of light fixture. If that's the case, you're welcome to request a return or a refund, but please don't review us negatively because we did sell you something that worked if it just doesn't fit or isn't the correct size for your aquarium light. The other thing that could be a problem is the ballast or starter, which is basically that transformer box that makes sure the right amount of power is going to the lamp. If that were bad, nothing would happen to this lamp because the right amount of power would not go to it and it could just not turn on. So again, I don't know if theirs did or didn't work, but very often the lamp is perfectly fine and there are other reasons why it may not work with your light fixture. All right, we got another lamp. This one has a return reason that reads, this is the exact Aqueon 15 watt full spectrum that came with the hood, but when I received this, both lights are flickering and aren't as bright as the original. Okay, well, let's try this. So the first thing I noticed as I took this out is this black on the end of the lamp. And what I can tell you is they did not ship this way. That black typically comes from the lamp getting burnt in. So I don't know how long this customer had this lamp, but we know it at least was plugged in for some time and did turn on. And it does appear to turn on. Now, what I suspect may have happened is because this black here is, generally people don't return things after a month, they return them in a week or so, is there's probably a problem with this customer's ballast or starter where it's sending too much power to this lamp, and that would prematurely wear it out and give us that black mark. Again, it wouldn't surprise me in a year-old lamp to see a little bit of black there, but in a lamp that's only used for a week, it just doesn't seem quite right. We know it didn't ship that way, so very likely the customer's actual transformer box or that component of the light fixture is starting to go bad, and that's why the lamps aren't working like they originally did. All right, we got one more lamp here, and the customer return reason in all caps. When tried, the light, they both wouldn't work. So I guess this customer ordered a couple bulbs, not just a single bulb from us, and so they both didn't work. So the first thing I'll say before we've even tried it is very, very, very rare to have two lamps that both don't work. I'm not saying the people at Aqueon never make a bad lamp, but it is very rare, so it would really shock me to have two in a row that both didn't work. Let's try it in this light fixture that's brand new and we know works. Well, it sure appears to work for me, so I am pretty much completely certain that if this lamp worked for us, didn't work for the customer, and the other lamp they purchased also didn't work for them, and I'm guessing the one they replaced also didn't work for them, that the problem is nothing to do with the lamps, and it's again the ballast or starter that's making sure the correct amount of power is going to the lamp. So again, if this happens, you're welcome to request a return, ask for a credit, that's perfectly fine, but please don't tell us that we're sending bad lamps out and leave us a 1-star review, because the lamp is fine. You guys just need to realize that the starters and ballast in these fixtures, they don't last forever. And because these light fixtures are now not super popular and we're seeing more LEDs, if you have a fluorescent light fixture like this, chances are it's at least 5 to 7 years old, if not 10 years old or even more than that. and those ballast and starters do not last forever. So it's a very good chance that that is what is wrong with your fixture and it's not the lamp itself, especially if the old one didn't work and you got two more that also both didn't work. It's certainly your fixture at that point and not actually the lamp itself. All right, we got another lamp return here. It says both bulbs arrived in bad condition. One did not work at all and the other stopped working after about 2 hours of use. So again, someone ordered 2 lamps and both did not work. That's very unlikely. 1 not working could happen, but for 2 to not work is very, very rare. Let's just give this one a try. All right. It appears to light up here. So one thing I do want to address with this one is earlier we showed you guys a lamp that had a little bit of black on the end. We said that was probably the ballast slowly damaging the lamp because it was sending too much power to the lamp, which can damage it over time. My guess is that the ballast may have been able to light up one lamp and then it quickly destroyed it in 2 hours of use because it was sending it through too much power. Whereas the other one it didn't work at all, again, because that ballast or transformer is going bad. So we're just gonna show you guys where that is. Now these ballasts and transformers, you often don't see them for sale in aquarium retailers like us, but you can find them at hardware stores because they are very common in a whole bunch of household fluorescent lighting, as well as some online lighting specialty places that specialize in different fluorescent light parts. So in this Aqueon hood, which these are Aqueon lamps, basically there's 4 screws, which I've removed, that go into the bottom. That'll let you pull out this reflector. And here is that ballast or transformer box. So I'm not going to go into details about how to swap this out. The lawyers would say I'm an electrician. I'm not an electrician. I shouldn't be telling you guys. But as you can see, if you have basic electrical skills, you know how wires work, you know how wire nuts work, you know how you could pop a new one in there. So it's really not that much work. It's something you could easily swap yourself in under 20 minutes of time if you got the replacement part. So if you do want to keep it running and you're having these issues where a bulb lights up and then stops lighting, or you've tried a couple bulbs and they're all not lighting, it's almost certainly that transformer or ballast, and that's probably what you need to do to get the light fixture working again. These do last a while. Again, many of these light fixtures are from customers who say this worked for 10 years. Well, they just don't last forever. They last a long time, but they don't last forever. So that's the first thing I would check if you've tried multiple lamps in a row and they haven't worked, or if you've tried a lamp where it works and then stops working after a few hours. That's a clear sign that that ballast could be going bad in your fixture.